Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Death in the Family, Robin Lives, #2 from JM DeMatteis and Rick Leonardi. It is such an amazing new miniseries from DC Comics exploring a sort of what-if scenario if Jason Todd hadn't originally been killed by the Joker in Ethiopia during the infamous 1-800 number save him or unalive him, as it were, from back in the day. So that is what we're looking at today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Oh my god, you guys, I am so happy that Rick Leonardi is drawing this. I'm such a huge fan of Rick Leonardi from back in the day, most notably on Cloak and Dagger when he was being inked by Terry Austin, and it's really a testament to like what an amazing inker Terry Austin is and how much art I really loved. That he just really brought such a great quality to. So it's really interesting to see Leonardi decades later in his career. First of all, amazing to see him working still consistently. He's an underrated artist. I feel like he has been working consistently for decades. I think he's in it at least in his 70s. Oh my gosh, how cool. Are they doing like a reissuing of Superpowers, or are these, what is this? Oh, these are just like variant covers. Well, very cool, right? Anyway, I digress. So Leonardi is inking himself here, and it's very different from what, you know, Terry Austin bring. It's very scratchy, very sketchy. But if you see like the original pencils of Rick Leonardi, he has a very loose, free, sketchy kind of quality. So I think it's really lovely what he does here. And the coloring is good too. We're going to get into that. But so this is kind of like, I know that Jason Todd, you know, comes back as the Red Hood, depending on what reality or whatever, who knows. But like, this is fun. This is, you know, a classic Batman writer, a classic writer. In general, JM DeMatteis, just like a legendary comic book artist, or writer, I'm sorry. You know, Craven's Last Hunt is like one of my favorites. Justice League International scripting, and, you know, over Keith Given plots, and, you know, proving his range of like dark superhero, psychological thriller, to like slapstick comedy, almost to like an airplane you know, level. But anyway, you know, I don't know, this is such a Batman trope, such a Joker trope. You know, the Joker talking to a psychiatrist in captivity at Arkham Asylum, and it's such a welcome trope. I love it. I mean, I was just thinking, this is such, you know, of course, leave it to JM DeMatteis. Very cool. Some Batman figures here. You gotta love. Oh my gosh, by the way, Disco Night, well, spoilers, but this reminds me, Disco Nightwing is in this comic book, and it's amazing, the one we're looking at. So if you think about, like, turning it off, wait a second first. But anyway, that figure from the McFarlane line, amazing, great design. I love it. Anyway, did we already do the credits? I'm so sorry. JM DeMatteis, writer, Rick Leonardi, artist, Rika Renzi, colors, amazing colors. I love this muted palette. You know, Rick Leonardi is such a classic comic book artist that I'm glad that he isn't being like over-rendered here. This looks straight out of like Legends of the Dark Knight series from the mid to late 80s anthology series, and it's classic, timeless, gorgeous. Letters Taylor Esposito and Dan Mora variant cover, Rick Leonardi and Rika Renzi cover, Katie Kubert and Michael McAllister editors. Batman, of course, created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. It's so interesting that they finally give credit to Bill Finger for all the contributions that he made to the Batman mythos. Like I said, I do love a scene with, look at the beautiful blues and purples. That's what I'm saying, like, Rika Renzi is bringing a lot of great, you know, it's bright, but it's muted at the same time. It's very much reminding me of, like, Kevin Nolan. So, it has that kind of vibe, and I really love that, because who doesn't love Kevin Allen? This is so dark, and grim and sort of like scratchy and gritty, but I love like a classic Batman villain, of course. Like, Batman is part of what makes him great. That's what I'm saying. Everything that makes him great is here. He has such a great rogues gallery. He has Gotham City working for him. He has just like the most amazing costume. It looks so good. I love the emblem here. This is such a Rick Leonardi face. Whether it's being like polished by Austin or sketch rendered by his own pen. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Unmistakably real Leonardi. This like furrow of the brow there. Totally. Really love it. Like, look at this beautiful palette here. Like, I cannot stress enough like how much I love what the colorist brought to this palette. So we go a little more psychology this time between Jason Todd. I mean, he really did go through the ringer with the Joker. And so I kind of like the dueling therapy of Jason Todd versus Jason Todd trying to come to terms with his near experience and brutally at the hands of the Joker, and the Joker also trying to deal with like coming to terms with wanting to leave it behind, but of course he doesn't. It's all a ruse. Anyway, here is Disco Nightwing as drawn by the amazing Rick Leonardi, and look how beautiful that is. The blues and the yellows with the purple backgrounds, gorgeous color choices. It makes it pop so much. This page is so beautiful. I would love to own the original art of this page. I feel like I've seen some like original Rick Leonardi art available for relatively low prices. I mean, unless it depends on what it is, you know what I mean? Like, original comic art is always going to be worth more. Like, I mean, these pages are going to sell for a lot because they've got like Nightwing, it's so cool to see a modern comic book featuring Nightwing, and just like, not like an unapologetic like version of his, collar and his, what do you call it? I think I'm going to put Disco Nightwing in the title of the video, just, as a, what do you call it? Like a bait or whatever. But people get mad when I say Disco Nightwing. I love disco. Disco lives in my life forever. So I am like loving it. I think it's a good adjective. I'm taking back disco. But someone, every time I mention that, someone inevitably points out the fact that, it looks like a trapeze artist influence a little bit. And, he's an acrobat. His parents were trapeze artists. And, Perez, was a great costume designer. And so that was the influence there. But it just did look, I mean, it looks a little dated and disco-y, right? But it's fun at the same time. I love it. So, of course, Joker's, this is such a brilliant scene here, too. And this reminds me of sort of like the gothic horror of like Batman. Like, this is grotesque in a lot of ways. And like the Joker's face here as he's like sort of nuzzling into the doctor, and then he morphs into, we find out it's the female version of Clayface, which is interesting because I thought, oh, that's so cool. Like, I wondered what informed the choice to use this version of Clayface, but obviously this must be the one that was, current during the time of the story from back in the day. So I thought that was like a fun way to work that into the story, this version of that character. Like, what a great way to, it's like, how do you make it fresh, the trope, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the word trope like is sort of like has negative connotations, but I love tropes, you know what I mean? Like, the tropes are the things that make the mythos, make the legend in my mind, you know what I mean? Like, the Joker escaping from Arkham Asylum for the millionth time, the being, you know, the, like I said, the back and forth with the psychiatrist, the, you know, fighting of the Joker. Oh, I forgot what I, like, one of the huge points I want to make up about the art as we hit the end. And this is so good. It's so, like, evocative of the Heath Ledger Joker, this last page. Gorgeous, once again. Like, oh my gosh, like, who would be lucky enough to own this, the original art from this issue? I don't even know. But it is amazing, beautifully rendered. The way that Leonardi is finishing his art in this is reminding me of, I think it was Batman Gotham Knights, but some stretch of Batman where Jim Aparo was, who notoriously, through a huge part of his career, always inked himself. But slowing down a little in his old age, started, like Bill Sienkiewicz was inking a lot of his Batman, maybe Detective, maybe Gotham Knights. Someone please in the comments, I'm sure you know. But it was gorgeous. I loved it, and that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. So I love the era of Rick Leonardi's art, and JM DeMatteis is just like one of the best writers ever. I love everything he does. This is amazing. I love it. I highly recommend this series. This is issue 2 of 4, y'all. So we're halfway through it. Still time to pick it up and jump on board. Like I said, it's really good. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring more soon.